Okay, and we're back. My friends, we are live today because for a very special Otaku Tuesday episode. One of the greats has passed. Probably the most influential mangaka of our generation. Passed away earlier this month. It's not week anymore, right? March 1st?
On the 1st.
Yeah, on the 1st. Akira Toriyama, known mostly for, most famously for creating the Dragon Ball series. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and, update on other things maybe if we still have time because both me and Eric have to go to work. But welcome to the newest episode of SDW. Wait, no, that's not it. There you go. No, I still messed up. Sorry, not in the right state of mind. Eric can attest to that, and he probably will in a few minutes.
Dario's dumb.
Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Yeah, so I'm not a smart man. I don't know where my head's at today. Is this like the fourth dumb thing I've done or said today? At least that you've noticed.
And after this, you got to go charge your car. That's just funny.
It is bizarre. The future is really bizarre. By the way, I don't even know. Do you have access to the chat? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see it right there.
Mob Nasty, thank you for joining us. Much love to you both. Appreciate it. Love to you too. Gus Becerra pouring out a Sapporo for this man. Mob Nasty, R.I.P. Chuck Dominguez, sad week for us. Yes, it's a very sad week indeed. Like I mentioned, one of the greats has passed on, and probably, like I said, the most influential mangaka of our generation.
I was actually thinking about this.
We're talking about Akira Toriyama if you're just joining us.
Yeah. The last couple of days, I was thinking about this. I don't actually think it's close. Because Toriyama didn't just change manga. He changed the entire world of anime with Dragon Ball.
Dude, he made it cool to like anime.
It's not just that. We were actually talking about this last night where I don't think there's a more iconic anime for being anime.
Yeah.
So like, for example, the Pokemon franchise is the biggest franchise in the world. But people don't really think of it as anime.
No, because
people think of the video games, right?
Yeah.
While Dragon Ball, it's like, yeah, no, that was like the typical answer where when people who, you used to watch cartoons as a kid and you watched all of a sudden Dragon Ball came on and you're like, yo, this is different.
And
I don't know,
better in many ways.
Yeah, I don't know what this is, but this is like edgier, a little more mature, a little, what's going on here? This is not just regular cartoons.
No.
And I feel like most of us got introduced to anime through Dragon Ball.
Definitely. Also, I need to get this out of the way really quickly. The Spanish dub, the Latin Spanish dub is the best dub. That's the best version of Dragon Ball. Getting it out of the way.
You know what?
There's been studies made. I'm not just saying it because I'm a fan. That's what I grew up with. There's studies
very smart people say
actually have been made. And I was just watching because I wanted to I rewatched it because if you guys follow me on social media at Super World and at DarsDW, you might have noticed that I loaded a stupid video for my stupid softball team, and it was Dragon Ball Z. It was a Dragon Ball Z thing to promote my team. So I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and I was finding mostly the English stuff, and I was like, the same scene, the same thing. And I'm like, oh man, this is garbage. It's so much better the Spanish one. I don't know if they just didn't care about being ridiculous. And the English one, it's like they toned it down a little bit more. I don't know why, but the Spanish one is so ridiculous. The songs are better. Vamos a encontrar las esferas del dragón. The English one is lame, man. It's just not the same.
There is an explanation, and it's basically back in the 90s, the people who did the dubs over here, basically the American companies, they were like, this is how American kids entertainment looks. Mm-hmm. And you want it to be, cool and edgy and, oh, bada bing. And that's why Kirby never smiles in any of his English covers. He's always angry. He's like, While in all of his Japanese versions, he's happy. They literally change it so that it looks more edgy in the American version. However, with the Latino versions. For whatever reason, they decided to just keep the Japanese. Maybe because they're lazy.
No,
But in a way that made it more authentic to the original.
Insecto. I don't know.
Kakaroto.
They put more heart into it, let's say. And so I've always preferred it. So I want to get that out of the way. That out of the way. Now, I recently, again, been watching it. It's still good. It's still watchable. It's still fun. But it's the difference between an A+ and an A. You know what I'm saying? It's just slightly better. The songs are better. The dubs are better. Just saying. Just want to get that out of the way. Just want to get it out of the way.
You know, a fun fact? I met the guy who did Goku's voice in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah. I went to
How have you never mentioned this? I've known you your entire life, and you've never mentioned this. This is like one of the only thing you could probably brag to me about ever in your entire life, and you haven't done it.
And we all sang Shala Het Shala with him.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why have I never heard this?
Well, we went, me and my
Were
buddies.
you saving it just for today?
I was waiting. I've been waiting. I've been holding it in, man. No,
Okay.
Me and my buddies, when we were in high school, we went to an anime convention that was there in TJ.
Oh, how are the smells?
I was not. Let me just get there. Like,
Okay.
we didn't just go to an anime convention. We went to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Oh,
in an
God.
anime convention.
Oh, God, no.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Luckily, that portion was outdoors.
Ah, okay.
Smart people.
Smart
Very
planning.
smart people.
Yep.
And those very same smart people invited Mario Castañeda, the voice actor for Goku. And we all just became little fucking kids when that man just took the microphone and he was like, "Hola, soy Goku." And
Dude,
we're like,
dude,
he's Goku. He does the thing.
Dude, it's one of those things where you just have stars in your eyes. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know that I loved you, but I do.
Yeah, it's one of those actual starstruck moments.
Yeah.
We got
Let's
a
see.
little chat action here.
Dude, I had something similar when I met the voice of Batman.
Oh,
and-
Kevin Conroy?
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. I
Also, rip in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. I blanked out halfway through. Like, I know we had a conversation. I know it's a good one, and he answered. Basically, I asked him, like, if you could make a Batman movie, which one would you choose? And he said, I would love to do an adaptation of Under the Red
Wasn't it Hush?
No, yeah, a Batman Hush. That'd be great. Which is my favorite Batman story. So when he said that, I was like, I kind of blanked out. I don't remember anything afterwards. I know it happened. I know I did okay because I've seen the video, but I don't remember it from my eyes. I remember it from the camera's perspective. So it's one of those things where you're like, I worship you, and I didn't know I did it. But yeah.
Especially because, I mean, you're looking at the face of a person and you're like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah,
Then
you're
they
just
open
the
their
guy.
mouth and it's like, it's the guy.
It's the guy.
And
All right,
Gus Becerra has a little thing here. He says his only problem with old Spanish dubs is there were only like 10 voice actors, so every other anime had the same voices.
I like that. I enjoy it. No, I find it fun. Like, for example, when I'm watching anime right now and I'm watching the dub, it's I like seeing Aaron or hearing Aaron in different characters. Like, hey, look, it's Aaron. Now he's a angry weeb. Now he's an angry something, but he's always angry.
Actually, like, that happened to me with a freaking. I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen the beginning of the second season,
Dio.
and I was like, "What? That's Dio."
That guy's gonna be bad.
I'm like, "Oh,
I know
this motherfucker's gonna be strong, and he's gonna be real bad."
Let me see. John Smith, R.I.P. A great one. Chuck Dominguez, yeah, Spanish is way better. Thank you. Also, the man who sang the Dragon Ball Z theme song passed away a while ago. Was it Rivera something? Diego Rivera? No, I forget.
It might have been. Yeah.
American dub was made by lower class warriors. Agreed. Even for movies, I distinctly remember Goku's voice actor also being the voice for Jamie Foxx's character in Any Given Sunday.
I like
That's
that
awesome.
though.
Yeah.
Creates a little. It makes everything feel like an abridged series, you know.
Yeah, I like it. So this is actually pretty hard because I was thinking, what could we do kind of like to honor him thing? Like, I wanted to have Dragon Ball Z music in the background, but we can't do it for copyright issues. Then I considered, well, maybe we could just hum it. Maybe we could sing
while
the song.
you're talking, I could just go dun 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 dun. This is where you be talking.
Yeah, okay, no, I can't do it because I love the music too much. It's so iconic. Wait. So then I thought,
I
dude,
know I'm gonna get copyright struck.
I know. Then I thought, well, how about if we sing the Spanish theme song live? But then I thought, there's no way I'm not gonna break down crying. Like there's just even just thinking about it, I'm getting teared up. It's weird. This one really hit me slow.
It you know, I was actually right before we started. One of my recommended in my YouTube was a cover of Shala Het Shala on the ocarina.
I was hearing it. Yeah.
I got a little like, I can't hear this right now.
No, dude, it's rough. Again, it's weird because you don't know.
You don't know the man, right?
Oh, you know the work.
I know, and it's kind of strange. We all love the man, but we don't actually know the man. We just love his work.
It's fine. I feel like that about most people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, like for example, musicians. Don't care about them, but I love their music.
I know, but I feel with manga in particular, they're really like they're not really like public personalities. You know, like for example, Christopher Nolan. You can watch interviews with Christopher Nolan.
Sure.
Plenty of those.
Ricardo Silva. Damn it. I wasn't. Did I say Diego Silva?
Diego Rivera.
Damn it. I wasn't even close.
You weren't even close. And sorry to anybody who thought Diego Rivera died, whoever he is.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not having a great day, man. I'm not having a great day.
No.
Brain-wise.
You know what was really weird? I feel like this episode is going to be all over the place, just remembering. And feel free to also share your Dragon Ball memories. I always love hearing how people got into the series. My first memory of Dragon Ball. You remember in TJ, there was like this laundromat in the place where now it's the restaurant that's the big hat?
Yep.
There was a laundromat there. And my mom took me there, well, because I had to go, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like 5 or 6 maybe. And there was Canal 12.
Of course.
And it was the Namek saga. Where I believe Goku showed up to fight the Ginyu Force.
Okay.
I believe that was the first Dragon Ball thing that I ever saw.
It's a great saga.
Yeah. And, you know, I feel like we give sometimes a little bit of shit to Toriyama because, well, not all of Dragon Ball is great. In fact, you could argue it hasn't been great ever since Dragon Ball Z ended.
Sure.
But, although I give GT a little bit of pass, even though he didn't make it.
I don't love GT, but okay.
But it's one of those things that's like, man, like, you gotta, like, this man wrote, like, Goku versus Vegeta, man. Like, he did, like, freaking, you know, he wrote the Namek saga. You know, he wrote the androids. This shit was great, man. And it's one of those things that you sometimes, maybe because the most recent stuff, like, Super hasn't been very good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Super is not very good.
Okay.
But, you know, there's no denying the influence that, like, freaking, like, even in other anime, if anybody ever watched Hunter x Hunter, do you like Meruem as a villain? Do you like him? Yeah, he's Perfect Cell. Literally. He is even quoted as being, I just like Perfect Cell, so I made him in my series.
You know what's my favorite, like, homage that other animes do to Dragon Ball Z? Like, this is a direct reference to Dragon Ball Z, and I love it. It's my favorite one by far. Nothing ever compares.
Anytime somebody slaps a pussy?
No. It's whenever a character just gets wrecked and they're kind of in the fetal position.
Yeah, the Yamcha. The Yamcha, man.
Dude, I love they just keep wrecking him.
It was
like,
so good.
I would say I'm rewatching Dragon Ball now, and even from the first episode, Yamcha gets wrecked because he can't talk to girls. Yeah. He's afraid of women. And still to this day, they just keep wrecking the man. He's just...
He died to a Saiba, man.
So I love that in particular. Oh, you're getting a phone call. I don't know if it's...
It's Sheena. Hang on.
All right, sure. I'll riff for a little bit. So for those of you who don't know, I think I started with Dragon Ball. So Eric started with the Namek saga. He was lucky in that sense because... No, not lucky. I think I'm luckier because I started from the beginning, like all the way back to the very beginning. I was there when it was written. And for those of you who did not watch it back in the day, you have to wait. Every single time you have to wait a week for a new episode. And it was one of those things. I think that's... Well, Dragon Ball, not so much. Dragon Ball C, I feel it was a better unifier because Dragon Ball C is more of a badass dude doing badass things. Dragon Ball was kind of a kiddie adventure in many ways. Volma was still a main character. I think Volma stopped being a main character after the Namek saga. After the Freezer saga, I'm sorry. That's the
Namek saga.
whatever. But I call it the Frieza saga. But after that, I think Bulma became a secondary character. And I was actually thinking about this today. Dude, Bulma, in many ways, is the hero of this story. Like, forget about all the stuff she did with Kid Goku. If she hadn't tamed Vegeta and had Kid Trunks and then created a time machine to send Trunks to the past, all of them would have been screwed. Like, she's actually the hero of this story. But she stops being a main character after she becomes a mother, which is actually pretty funny.
I do like that one of the most useful characters for just existing is Piccolo.
Sure, yeah.
Just because, like, well, we need you to just live. Otherwise, the Dragon Balls are fucked.
Anyway, I was mentioning something, so 'cause I'm going to be all over the place, probably. But
also, yes, Gus, I do see you. All of us have tried to build up an energy ball at some point.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times a week I try to turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I just thought, whenever I'm in traffic, I'm like, I'm already angry. It's like,
yeah.
You just gotta try it. You gotta try it. You never know.
You never know. Today might be the day.
Maybe you just haven't gotten angry enough.
Maybe. Oh, I don't know. I've been in traffic, man.
I've been very angry.
I've been in traffic court. I've been pissed.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. I pay taxes. Oh.
I went saying 3 there.
Oh, goddamn. No, but there was something about it's 200 and something episodes, and having to watch it every single week, waiting for it. It's an expectation, and if you missed it, you're fucked. You're not gonna see that thing again. You don't know when it's gonna come back in. So there was something cultural for our generation, because I mean, most of the people in my generation, that's how we watched it, live on TV every single week. If you missed it, you're the loser that week. You're not gonna be able to talk about the stuff, or you're gonna get spoilers. So,
granted, not a lot of stuff happened per episode,
but enough
for
you. It was a conversation piece, and again, it's hundreds of episodes. So it wasn't like, let's say, I don't know, Game of Thrones, which was 12 episodes and then you're done. So it's 3 months, still a lot. It's hundreds. It's every single week. And you talked about it at school. And then all of a sudden, imagine if you would have missed the episode where Trunks shows up. Dude, you're the biggest loser in the world, man.
You would have been very confused where it's like, all right, so this guy, Super Saiyan from the future, came up and like cut up a mecha Frieza.
What?
And it's like, dude, Frieza blew up in Namek. You're just trying to trip me up.
Yeah, like,
you're so
loser.
stupid.
Yeah, you don't know what you're saying. Let's read a little bit of the comments here.
Canal 12.
How many of us have ever tried to build... okay. The rat's name, Teveo? What?
I don't know.
Gus, I tried to do La Genkidama and failed.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you need everybody's support for that.
Yeah,
so.
you need you know what? Maybe with a podcast. Maybe, a lot of people listen and you'll be able to do it.
You know what? I've never fucking tried it.
Everybody, give your power to Goku.
No, this guy.
Oh, wait, Shark. Sure.
Well, that didn't work.
Well, not with that attitude. Anyway.
Why would they, when they would reset the episodes, instead of finishing the saga, they jump back like 20 episodes for no reason? Stupid Canal 12. Well,
listen.
To be fair, they didn't care. They were just like, this is just kids' entertainment, whatever.
Well, no. To be fair, it was more like there was every single week the new episode, but they showed episodes daily. So they had to keep going back to showing you stuff so that so that they could air stuff.
Amount of reruns.
It was a very popular time slot, right?
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother watched it. Everybody. In Mexico, it's beloved. I've read something, and I choose to... I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but I choose to believe it, that cartel activity goes down 2 days after there's new Dragon Ball content out. I choose to believe it. I think it's real. Because it was that big of a deal. Again, it's the great unifier. The cool kids, the loser kids, the athletic kids, the weirdos, the nerds, everybody, they loved it. Even chicks watch it. Even my girl knows what knows what Dragon Ball Z is about. And I barely started turning her into a weeb.
Yeah, and people just know of it. That's the thing. They recognize it. They're like, oh yeah, that's the thing. Where the guy goes, he shoots beams out of his hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they stare at each other for like 20 minutes at a time.
And then
yes.
And there's also, I don't know. I guess this is a difference between boys and girls, where the characters are insanely ripped, and we think they're the coolest dudes ever. Like I want to be like that. Like I want to be like Son Goku. Son Goku will be proud of me going to the gym. getting, like they're pumping some iron, doing all that
Well,
stuff.
that's literally his character.
Yeah,
He just wants to be the best he can be.
best fighter.
Literally.
So
Like, that's why he lets enemies get stronger, too. Like,
yeah,
That's kind of the tragedy of his character. He's like,
it's kind of dumb sometimes.
it's really dumb, but also you can kind of understand it, considering that at one point, Goku even realizes that, oh, wow, like the threats of the universe are never going to get any weaker. So my life has to literally become just be the strongest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all right, I just barely defeated freaking Cell or Frieza or whatever, and the next guy's gonna be even stronger than that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always gonna be a next guy because this is an anime and we gotta get paid.
Of course. Well, I mean, they did plan on it ending with Majin Buu.
They planned on it ending with Cell too,
Yeah, that is true. Well, sometimes you get a good idea.
or sometimes you just gotta continue it because that cash cow.
And, like, I think about those sagas sometimes and how crazy, but I mean insanely crazy, creative they are. Just, let's stick with Dragon Ball Z because I think that most people know Dragon Ball Z. It begins with Goku getting killed.
Oh yeah.
That's the start of it, right?
It's like-
I mean, first off, it starts Goku having a kid, then his brother showing up out of fucking nowhere.
Then turns out Goku's an alien.
Yeah, kidnapping his son, and then Goku getting killed. So that's how the series starts. Now,
And
that's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, and if you started the series with Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, and you're like, oh, there's a brand new sequel coming. Actually, Dragon Ball Z, the reason it's called that is because Toriyama saw it and see the 2, and he said, that looks like a Z. Let's call it Z. Literally, that's why it's called Z.
Sometimes the best ideas, they write themselves.
Yeah. And so imagine you watched, because Dragon Ball was a long series. Imagine you watched all of Dragon Ball, and then it's like, oh, we're going to make a sequel. It's like, oh, cool. And then it starts, and Goku fucking dies.
Dude, I was there. I was like,
and that just gets crazier from then on.
and killed by Piccolo.
My
All right?
God.
Like, what the hell is happening?
Lord have
What
mercy.
the fuck is this? So,
Chuck Dominguez, I agree. GT was not great, but it's better than Super, and I will stand by that.
listen, I haven't really watched Super. And the reason why I really haven't watched Super is because I've heard it's not great, and I don't want to get my poor little heart broken.
I mean, the movies are okay.
The Broly movie's awesome.
Yeah, the Broly movie's cool, although Fusion Reborn was a better introduction to Gogeta.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. That's fine.
Like, in Broly, they literally just kind of do the gag where Goku and Vegeta are trying to fuse, but they keep fucking it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is just Fusion Reborn, but, like, way faster.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know. It's weird. It hit me weird because I'm currently reading a fanfic for Dragon Ball Z.
I couldn't hear you. Can you say that again?
I'm reading a fanfic because after I loaded,
You're reading a what?
The fanfic. A
fanfic.
Yeah.
A fictional fan.
After I loaded that stupid video, I had some people, they comment and stuff like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z," and so I was talking with a friend of mine, and he's like, "All right, so you're like, what's your favorite saga? Or what's your favorite character?" And I said, "Well, Future Trunks by far." That's kind of the reason why I don't like GT as much because I feel like they ruined Trunks. They made him kind of a bitch.
I mean, it's a different character.
I know, but yeah, I don't like it. Anyway, he may look the same, but he's a bitch. There's like cool Trunks and then there's bitch Trunks, and that's clearly bitch Trunks. Anyway, and he's like, "Dude, you got to read this fanfic." And I'm like, "Fuck you." Like, no, just trust me. If you're a Future Trunks guy, you got to read this fanfic. And he sent it to me. And it's
It'd be funny if he just sent you Dragon Ball GT.
And that would have been great. That would have been a great troll. And I saw the title, and it's kind of like a romance fanfic between Trunks and Number 18. And I was like, "The fuck is this, bro?" He's like, "Dude, fucking read it. It goes hard." And so the dude is clearly a fan. Takes a lot of storylines, creates his own thing. It's legit. And I was reading this, and I was like,
You're like, plus the sex scenes are incredible.
of course. I mean, it's an android. She
Jesus.
can't get tired.
And a Saiyan.
Jesus Christ.
My goodness.
It's Super Saiyan 2. Anyway, and so I'm reading it, and I'm like, dude, there were so many things that made me think of why the past or the present, I guess, did not work out the same as in the future. And Toriyama left enough in there to kind of make it work. So there's stuff that you would say like, it's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. Why was it different? But there's kind of enough holes in there where you're like, I guess that kind of makes sense. So for example, why would Android 18 not be woken up in the future version, and in the present version he was woken up?
She.
No, Android 16.
You said 18.
I'm sorry, my bad. Android 16 specifically, because 16 does not appear in the future, but he does appear in the past.
I'm trying to. It's funny. I recently literally just rewatched Dragon Ball Z Kai up to the end of the Cell saga. Why did 16 wake up?
Oh, they don't say, but I can tell you because supposedly it's a different dimension and stuff. But here's kind of the logic, and that they explain in the fanfic. 16 was designed or programmed specifically to kill Goku, but
Goku was dead.
Exactly. So if Goku was dead, there was no reason to wake him up.
But that's the reason 17 and 18 were made as well.
But also to kill the other people.
I guess.
Yeah. And so it's like, so there's it's really well thought out. And again, it's because Toriyama kind of left those things in there. He doesn't explain them, but he leaves things for you to be like, that does fit there. That does make sense there.
It's a little bit of a Star Wars thing where it's like, there's enough there from the original creator, but also enough ambiguity where the fans can fill in a bunch of stuff.
Let's see, Gus Becerra, Goku, low-key freak in the sheets. I don't think about that stuff, but based on episode 2 of Dragon Ball and how he doesn't even know what a vagina is,
I mean, he was a literal child at that point. Wait, actually,
maybe.
wasn't he like 15 or 17 or something like that?
At that point?
I think so.
No.
I think that was the gag.
No way.
That Bulma thought he was like a 12-year-old, and he's like, I'm like 16.
No, I think he's way younger.
He might have been like 14 or something. I don't know.
But he had the mind of a child at least.
He always does.
Dragon Ball GT was my least favorite. I haven't seen Super either. Super is good, not great. C, that's the problem. C is great.
Super should have been Super.
And again, I kind of have...
Also, I just don't like the look of it. It looks really
Krillin
odd.
did always put out cuck vibes. Oh, for the 18 stuff? Yeah. But I mean, in the future, remember, Krillin's dead.
Yeah.
He's not there. It's not a thing.
He didn't get cucked. He got killed.
Yeah. I don't know which one's worse.
Actually, Krillin is mostly a Chad.
Wait. Where can I... No, you read it. You have to read it. You can't watch the fanfic. Yeah, you have to read it. It's a reading thing. I've been spending a lot of time in traffic in my car, and so I just, I read. I consume
His brain
stuff.
is deteriorating.
Dude, it sucks. I was crossing the border and I was watching freaking Avatar: The Last Airbender from Netflix. I was bored out of my mind. It's so boring.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've only heard that it's like, well, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just not great.
No. Again, it's boring. They mix up a bunch of storylines that are stupid, that don't make any sense. And the moment I was like, this is it, I'm bored. Because it's close enough to the original where you're like, okay, kind of, but it's just the worst version of it. And I don't mean A plus to A minus. I mean A to like C. You're like, I would rather just watch the original show. And they change stuff for no reason, but they don't make it better. And I think I already explained this to you, but I'm going to explain it to the audience real quick.
Well, I mean, we should probably stick to Dragon Ball in this episode in particular,
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Because I was about to go on a rant.
We can talk about how shitty Netflix adaptations are
We
at
never
another
actually...
time.
I don't think we've actually ever discussed this. What's your favorite Dragon Ball character?
My favorite Dragon Ball character... honestly, it varies. Depending on the medium. Because...
So a video game is different than...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And most of my favorite characters are actually the fusions.
That's cheating.
No, because they're actual different characters.
That's cheating, though.
Maybe a little, but
Because you never actually hang out with those characters.
that's why I love them in the video games. I'm like, yeah, Gotenks is really fun, and freaking
Chuck Dominguez,
Gogeta's
Future
badass.
Trunks. Yes, I 100% agree. That's actually the intro to Future Trunks is probably the greatest introduction to a character ever. I dare you to think of somebody who has a better intro than that.
I am not gonna try and do that right now because I'm very bad at coming up with stuff on the spot.
All right, for those of you who don't know, or for those of you who don't remember, or those of you who just want to remember again, I'll break it down for you. We had just spent months, if not years of our lives in the Namek Freezer saga, right? Years, what felt like years, because they just dragged that thing out. A bunch of episodes is just characters looking at each other. Now, I'm not blaming Toriyama for that because, again, the series is catching up to the manga, and so they needed to stretch it out. Fine. It's better than them
Yeah,
just...
the manga actually goes at a fairly brisk pace.
Yeah, it's better than them just making up dumb shit. So they were dragging out, so it felt like forever, the Namek saga. Goku had just taken down Cell. I'm sorry, Freezer. Freezer, the biggest bad in the galaxy, right? And in comes Freezer. Mech Freezer. So not only is it Freezer, it's Freezer reloaded.
For the people
Stronger.
who watch it in English, it's Frieza.
Whatever. Tougher, bigger, more dangerous, deadly, pissed off, with a mission. And he brought his daddy along.
Who's stronger than him.
Yeah. So you're like, holy shit. Okay, what the fuck's gonna happen? What's gonna come down? I thought this guy was dead. And in comes this random dude with a sword who turns Freezer into ceviche in less than an episode. Right? He just the fight starts. I think Trunks appears behind him. Frieza turns around. He's like with the blank eyes, and all of a sudden, the future Trunks starts splitting into two. Like that. That's just phenomenal filmmaking.
The Frieza.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No. Trunks, because you're seeing.
Oh,
through
no.
Frieza's eyes.
You're seeing
Seeing through Frieza's eyes that he starts splitting kind of into two. It turns around and Frieza starts splitting into two.
I'm not entirely sure that's how eyesight works, but yes, that is cool.
That's. It looks epic. It looks dude.
Also, for years, I thought he cut him right down the dick. But actually, no. I recently saw. Oh, okay, it's kind of like this side.
So he does that.
He cut his dick.
Then turns him into freaking ceviche and
There, he cut his dick.
Pulverizes him. So you're like, who the fuck is this guy? How is he so freaking powerful? He just turned Frieza into ceviche like he's nothing. He's nothing. And then now, so to me, that was just phenomenal. That's a great intro to a character. I love the guy ever since. Also, then it turns out that he probably has the most tragic storyline in the freaking Dragon Ball Z universe. So,
I mean, that's debatable.
all right, who would you debate? Who would you debate?
Oh,
Who would you debate?
Honestly, I'm thinking Vegeta.
What? Vegeta?
I mean, the guy lost his entire home planet and then
Okay.
had to live as a freaking kind of a slave to the guy who destroyed it.
You know, it doesn't
And
look...
then literally his entire story is him getting his pride squashed over and over again.
Insecto!
Like, his biggest W was nailing Bulma,
Of course.
and then he dies to the androids.
So he has like the greatest happy ending ever.
Well, and then he dies to freaking Majin Buu.
Okay, but now you're going through the... Are we doing past... But okay, Vegeta's story is a redemption story.
Yeah.
So he's a villain. He kind of has to be punished. He has to suffer. And he redeems himself because he ends up going to heaven, right?
He goes to hell, I think.
Really? I
Well,
thought he went
that's
to
why
heaven.
he's there in Fusion Reborn.
But at the end, he does go to heaven.
Well, he revives in the Majin Buu saga, and then he goes to heaven.
Yeah. So again, it's a redemption story.
Or no, he stays alive.
Yeah, he stays alive. But I think they only bring back the good people, and Vegeta comes back. So it's a redemption story.
Which kind of makes you wonder what's the point of hell, but okay.
And a redemption story requires you to suffer. Future Trunks, child, completely innocent. Literally everybody that he knows except his mom died.
Well, but also he lost his whole planet when he was a child.
Most of the planet getting killed.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean, Dragon Ball is always kind of...
Do you remember the movie where it's him and Gohan against the androids?
Yeah.
I think that's
I don't think it's a movie, actually. I think it's a special.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's the best. It's awesome. So anyway, I like that storyline.
You know,
I like that character.
The thing is,
To me, he's the best.
There's a lot of really inherently tragic characters in Dragon Ball that it doesn't end up sticking because they have Dragon Ball, so they come back and everything's happy, you know? So it's like, Goku's story is pretty tragic, but, you know, he does come back a whole lot and everything's fine at the end.
Dude,
so.
Goku has fun in the underworld. He didn't want to come back to life.
Well,
right? Goku just has fun everywhere.
Goku literally fell off a cliff and became retarded, okay? at like age like 2.
Dude, you know
That's
what's
the
funny?
only reason he wasn't a bad guy.
You know
That's the
what's fun-
only reason that after he landed on Earth,
He didn't kill
he
everyone.
didn't destroy everything. He didn't become freaking evil Goku because he fell off a cliff and became retarded.
You know what's really funny? Again, rewatching the Dragon Ball. Bulma's first interaction with Goku is shooting him in the face. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't even think about it. She doesn't hesitate. Like, this kid just she just flipped over my car. Boom, boom, boom. Wait, honestly,
and
it's
that's
epic.
and that's the moment where we get introduced to the insane power levels of Dragon Ball.
Okay, so let's see. Chuck Dominguez. Wait, okay. It's okay. We can talk about other stuff. Okay, especially when...
Oh, especially when Trunks let his hair long and turned Super Saiyan. That was badass. Dario doesn't like long hair Trunks.
I prefer
long hair
I
Trunks.
prefer the short hair
And my
Trunks.
favorite one is in the freaking BoJack movie. That movie sucks dick, by the way. But it has the best look of Trunks
When
when
he
he's
has the
got
sleeveless?
the sleeveless shirts and long hair. That's badass, dude.
Yeah, Bulma having the hots for her son was the intro to the family porn genre.
That was very
What the fuck?
strange.
That is really bizarre. But, it's honestly on par with the Dragon Ball weird. Again, rewatching Dragon Ball, we remember just, the iconic scene where Goku rests in between the legs of Bulma and he's like, what the fuck? There's nothing there. And he like, where your balls are missing. And she's like, my Dragon Balls. Which is hysterical.
I found it funny the idea that he was expecting to lay on a dick. He's like, where's the dick?
Dude, there's a few episodes, go by. That's the way he tests if somebody's a girl. So he does it. Another girl shows up like, oh, you're a girl? Pa, pa. An old lady, Papa, you're a girl too.
Yeah.
And Bulma's like, stop doing that! Stop doing that!
Dude, I think
honestly, it's really clever writing.
I think one of the things that is misunderstood about the Dragon Ball franchise in general, and I know Toriyama did other manga. He did Dr. Slump as well. But his main work was Dragon Ball.
The one that he will be remembered for
Yeah.
is Dragon Ball.
I think the main thing that people misunderstand it is people think of Dragon Ball as an action anime. Dragon Ball inherently is a comedy.
Yeah.
It was always a comedy.
It's hysterical.
That's why it works. It's a comedy that is able to go serious when it matters, but ultimately the gags are always there. And I think that's a problem with a lot of series nowadays, that they're like, oh, I'm like super serious, but I'm going to have, moments of, levity to like sort of break up the pace. Kind of like you see with most of the Marvel movies. They're like, oh yeah, we're super serious and stuff. Like serious shit's happening. You got to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden it's like, haha, funny joke. It's like, no, Dragon Ball was always a comedy.
And then it
Inherent.
turns
Just
to
think
action
of the
show.
whole story. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's a little kid running
Dude.
around chasing balls.
Dude, and the writing...
A little retarded kid from space.
The writing is so fucking clever because there's a gag that goes on for a few episodes, and it's Bulma not having a tail. So Goku is shocked that Bulma doesn't have a tail. It's like, well, did you lose your tail? Did you cut it off? And Bulma sometimes suggests to Goku, like, she thinks maybe he stuck it with glue. It was on his pants. She's like, well, maybe you can cut it off. Dogs, we cut off the tails of dogs. You want that to happen? And Goku's like, oh, that's what happened to you? Did they cut off your tail? I'm not a dog, so go bury me with a dog. So there's a gag going on about the tail and Bulma being upset that Goku's obsessed with her having a tail. Like, Goku wanted to wash her back because Bulma offered to wash his back. And Goku's like, oh, you don't have to be embarrassed. Like, what do you mean I'm embarrassed? Because you don't have a tail. You don't have to be embarrassed that you don't have a tail. Like, guys, shut up with the tail. And so it was an ongoing thing. Then there's the episode when he meets the giant turtle and Bulma's being a pain in the ass, and he has the turtle like, you know what? I'll carry you to the ocean because it's 100 miles away. I'll carry you. We'll get there. Bulma is like, you're stupid. Go your own way. I'm going to do my own thing, blah, blah, blah. Slams the door in his face. And Goku's like, Jesus, are the girls in your species this big of this crazy too? And the turtle's like, kind of, but they all have tails. And so again, there was episodes to set up just that stupid little joke. It's stupid, but it's phenomenal. And so, again, if you're watching it again, you're like, man,
Also,
I would never have caught this as a kid because it's clever. You as a kid, you laugh at the the hijinks.
Yeah.
But that's really clever writing.
Yeah. And there's like that one other character whose entire fighting style was stripping.
Yep.
She would strip, and then guys would get distracted, and then she kick their ass.
Oh, okay. You and also Dragon Ball is also kind of for degenerates. You have to be
Well, it is an anime.
Anime is for degenerates. You have to be a little bit of a degenerate. You remember the Bulma not having panties thing? Because Goku takes it off, and that's how he discovers she doesn't have balls.
Yeah.
Well, that leads to them meeting Master Roshi, and Master Roshi's basically like, show me your panties, and I'll give you the Dragon Ball or whatever. And so Bulma thinks that she still has panties.
Yeah, that's right.
And she flashes him. I just remember the first flashing. There's actually more than one flashing. And I was like, how did I not remember this? And rewatch it. It's on Crunchyroll. I highly recommend it. You're gonna have a great time. Unfortunately, it's in English. It's not in Spanish. But
You
whatever.
can watch the Japanese.
It's not the same.
It's better, honestly.
I don't. Again, I'm usually watching these things when I'm driving or something. So, or
Well, yeah,
when
you
I'm
do
doing
drive like
or,
half your
or,
life.
or when I'm working or something. So I kind of don't want to have to be reading. Like for example, I was watching Bakemonogatari. You need to.
Oh no! What the fuck?
You need to
Dude,
read. You need to read.
Literally picked
You
the
need to
worst possible fucking anime. I've been paying full attention to
You
Bakemonogatari, and it's like no. I need to go back. I missed stuff,
Yeah.
and it's me at full attention. You
Well,
can't just have that in the background.
That's what I do when I'm charging the car. I'm just sitting there, like, all right, I can pay attention to this.
All right,
Well,
fair
that's what I used to do until this fucker got me freaking curious about stupid Warhammer lore, and I'm like, I gotta read that lore.
Well,
Like,
you know.
it is good lore, but fuck you.
There's a lot of good lore. I'll send you Magic the Gathering lore later.
No, don't do that. I don't need more lore in my. Actually, you know what? Fine, because again, I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I just switched to the Warhammer lore because it's better.
Yeah.
And it's usually stuff that I have in the background because when I'm there, I'm usually playing on my Switch or something, and so I have it on in the background because I know that I don't have to pay 100% attention to it because I don't care as much.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't do that with Bakemonogatari, and with Dragon Ball, I couldn't do it either. I had to watch it because it's there's a lot of physical gags and stuff that you need to be paying attention to. Anyway,
What I kind of want to do is read the manga, actually.
for Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost bought it today. The collection is on Amazon for like $170. And I was like, that's not a terrible deal.
Not really.
Yeah.
Is it the colored one or no?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
No.
But the whole of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z has been colored.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the anime?
No, the manga.
I know.
The manga doesn't have the music.
I know. It was a joke.
You know what's actually really...
I have to watch Baki, the Son of Ogre.
Oh, Baki. That's Baki Hanma.
I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I
It's
saw
the
like
one with the really, really ugly characters.
But they're buff as hell.
Yeah.
Super buff. I don't know what the Son of Ogre is.
That's the name.
Really?
I mean, there's a lot of Bakis. You gotta. It's one of those shows that before you watch it, look up how to watch it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Kind of like Bakemonogatari.
Oh, God.
I'm surprised you actually picked the right one to start with.
I looked it up. What kind of an idiot do you think I am?
You want me to answer that?
Sure.
Well, let's just keep.
I'm not gonna be stuck in another Cavaneri situation again.
Habanero of the Spicy Fortress.
Anyway,
Man.
so what's your favorite saga?
Oh,
And first off, I want it to be clear. He never answered what his favorite fucking character is.
well, it's because I don't really have one in particular. Like I love Future Trunks too, but
it's Gran Saibaman, isn't it?
first it's the
Great Saibaman.
great. No, Saibamen are the ones that Vegeta bring. The ones who kill Yamcha.
What's the name of stupid adult?
Saiyaman.
Saiyaman.
El Gran Saiyaman.
Gran Saiyaman. That's what. I was mixing it in Spanish and English.
You're saying the great Saibaman.
Gran Saiyaman.
Gran Saiyaman.
Great Saiyaman. I don't know.
I don't know what we're
it's
saying
in
anymore.
English.
Well, it's not my favorite.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, after the latest rewatch, I gained a bigger appreciation for Vegeta.
Okay. Because he's the best father in the show.
And not just that, he's just so consistently great. Because he is like
Insecto.
he's kind of an evil Goku in the sense of like you see him against Cell and he's kicking his ass after it's like the thing is okay, good, we got it, and he's pretty much got it in the bag, and he's like, but I can be. If I was my perfect form, I would be able to destroy you. And Vegeta's like, you got a perfect form? And Trunks is like, no, just kill him now. You got him here. He's like, but he has a perfect form though.
You see,
Vegeta would be a Dark Souls player. He's like, wait, there's more?
no. Here's the thing. Vegeta does it because he's arrogant.
Yeah,
It's because he's cocky. Goku does it because he wants.
because it's fun.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Honestly, it's because
he wants to fight. Because he's
But
basically Goku's superpower is that he can break any limit.
sure. And the thing is that I think that's the reason why they both get along so well ultimately, because they both have the same motivation.
Sure.
Just different reasons, pretty much.
I mean, maybe same goal, different motivations.
Let's say that, yeah. Where it's
Yeah.
like, I just want to fight the strongest guy possible, and he's like, me too.
No. Vegeta wants to be the strongest guy possible. Goku wants to fight the strongest guy possible.
To become the strongest guy.
I don't think so. I mean, sure, but
Goku wants to break limits.
yeah.
Vegeta wants to be.
But there's a difference in kind.
Goku.
One's goal is the end. The other one's goal is the adventure.
Goku wants to be the unstoppable force, while Vegeta wants to be the immovable object. Vegeta wants to be the pinnacle.
Sure.
The one who nobody can amount to.
Mm-hmm.
While Goku wants to keep, breaking through all the strongest.
Sure. And again, there's a very big difference in kind there.
Oh yeah, Goku's retarded. And Vegeta's a better father.
Oh, definitely. But for that's not even a debate.
The only debate is whether Piccolo or Vegeta are the best parents.
Oh man, I remember Gohan with Piccolo when he just dropped him in the forest and he was like, survive.
Yeah. If you can't survive this, you're not surviving the Saiyans.
Yeah, and just started beating the shit out of him. It's like, survive. So that's how the show starts.
You know what was really weird?
There was many things that were very weird.
Two nights ago. So I think yesterday was when we learned that Toriyama passed.
A good manga to read is Hajime no Ippo. Eric, what's that one?
That was the boxing one that I'm actually watching.
Okay.
It's really good.
Goku wants to break limits and Vegeta wants to break the limit. Wants to be the limit.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I think we found out he passed yesterday.
Yeah, I found out yesterday.
Yeah. I think most of us found out. The night before, literally the night before, I was on YouTube, just laying here on my bed, and I saw a video it was like an 8-hour broadcast of Toonami. So literally like with commercials and everything. Like
sure.
just as if you were watching Toonami, and I was like, we'll just watch this for a little bit. It starts with the end of the Goku versus Nappa fight.
Okay.
And it actually does it back to back. And the next episode is the start of Goku versus Vegeta.
Okay.
So I was literally the night before, like the very next morning, I found out Toriyama had passed. And for whatever, randomly, I was just like, oh, yeah, let's watch some old Dragon Ball. That was kind of strange.
You know what's, I think maybe, like, Toriyama's superpower, specifically in Dragon Ball Z, is he found a way of extending fights with villains where you didn't really feel like they dragged and you were still excited for it. And they never got lamer. They always got more and more hyped. For example, Vegeta. It starts with the Saibaman, then it starts with Nappa, then it's Goku Vegeta. And then all of a sudden Goku looks like he's up, but then turns out Vegeta's up. And then Goku's up again. And then there's Gorilla freaking or Ape Vegeta.
Which is not a cop-out. It's like we've seen the monkey form before with Goku.
So whenever you're like, okay,
or a Gohan,
what's gonna happen? And you're thinking that's not gonna happen because there's no moon out. He creates his own freaking moon.
Yeah, fuck you.
And so it just keeps building up.
And you know what? You kind of accept it because ultimately this is a comedy.
Yeah, and like think about the Cell saga. First, it's the lame androids where they wreck freaking Yamcha again.
Yeah.
Then it's the good androids.
But then Trunks shows up and he's like, "These are not the androids. What the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on?" Then it's Cell. Then it's Cell level 2. But it's not just Cell against them, who wrecks them. It's Cell against 16, who is a decent fight. Cell finds a way of sneaking out of that fight to capture 17, so he grows up. Then it's Vegeta. And so it's the same guy. They're still fighting. It just keeps going up and up. And it doesn't feel ridiculous. It doesn't feel fake. It feels like the natural evolution of a character in a fight where they find ways of becoming stronger and taking down other guys or revealing that they're stronger. Like Frieza does. Like, I have a second level. And you're like, of course this guy has a second level. Because they already showed that these other guys have second levels too.
Yeah, and Frieza and Cell are actually two very different situations, but they're done very cleverly. Frieza, he starts off super powerful. Like, impossibly powerful.
Yeah.
And then he levels up. And you're like, oh shit, he leveled up. Like, now he's impossible, right? Like, just absolutely unbeatable. Then he levels up again. And you're like, okay, these guys are just fucked. And then he levels up one more time. Honestly, I think he just did it because he thought he was funny.
Super buff.
Yeah, where it's like, all right, this guy had 3 fucking power-ups. And he was already impossible in his first form. This is just funny.
And you know,
okay? But with Cell, it's actually the opposite. We know he's kind of strong as a base form, but we know from the very beginning he has a perfect form. He's just working towards that goal.
Yep.
The goal of the characters is to prevent him from reaching that perfect form. And Vegeta fucks it up because it's funny. So with Cell, it's not a surprise that he has like this final form, and that is his final form. It's not like after he goes perfect, there's even one beyond.
What's a surprise is that he's so freaking difficult to kill and that he's so freaking sneaky.
And you know why he's so difficult to kill? It makes sense. He has Piccolo's cells.
Freaking Piccolo. Always causing trouble.
And the funny thing is, part of that saga is the fact that when it starts, the characters are stronger than Cell.
Yeah.
They just can't catch him because Cell doesn't emit ki. So they can't sense his energy. So he's literally just going, well, whenever you guys show up, I'm just going to run away. And then you can't find me. And then I'm just going to start killing people in an entire city and then just start absorbing them until I'm strong enough to fight you guys. That's
Which is a solid
start.
It's a solid strategy.
Yeah, the guys are just at the commie lookout and they're like, shit, we can't catch this guy.
Or the androids. They don't emit ki either.
And you know who could catch him? Goku. But he's passed out right now because he has his heart virus.
But
Clever shit.
You know what? Again, interesting stuff. It's kind of the reverse of what happened in the Frieza saga. Now, what I love about the Frieza saga is that it's kind of like a 3-team race. They're all racing for the Dragon Balls. One's clearly the strongest and has the most resources. Then there's Gohan, Bulma, and Krillin. And then there's Vegeta, who at that point is still an enemy. And so they're kind of all screwing each other. So
yeah, Vegeta in that arc is the perfect anti-hero.
Yeah. Well,
because it's like, clearly he's not the main antagonist anymore. Clearly there's way stronger guys than him.
But he's still a complication.
But it's like, but this guy was just the main antagonist. The previous arc, he almost destroyed Earth.
Well, to me, it's funny. Again, it's a race for the Dragon Balls. Frieza gets them, but they can't use them. Gohan and Krillin are considering going in to steal them, but they don't have the balls because they can track the Dragon Balls. Vegeta sneaks in there because he does have the balls to do it. He throws them away, and he's like, nobody's going to find them. Only I know where they are. But the other guys have the thing that can track the Dragon Balls. And so when it comes down to duking it with Vegeta, it turns out that stronger guys show up, and like, I guess we're friends now.
We need Vegeta.
Yeah, we kind of need each other. So it's a funny little...
It's kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's very, very cleverly written. And this whole time you're like, when is Goku going to get there?
And
when is Goku going to get there?
Yeah, and then Goku gets there, and then what does Toriyama do? Is like, well...
Let's take him out.
Yeah, it's like, like he shows up, he kicks a couple asses, and then this guy just takes his body.
Yeah.
Then you realize, oh my god, these guys are fucked. Goku lost his body.
Very clever writing.
It's so fucking good, man.
I know.
And, man, what a shame.
Well, it's a tragedy. But, as everybody's going to say, the work lives on. We can still watch it. It's sad. Honestly, I think it's sadder because it feels... Well, I'm trying to think about why it hit me, you know? And I think it's because you feel like a part of your childhood is dying.
Well, it hits you right in the childhood. Yeah, it hits you in the nostalgia. You know, it's one of those things that it's always going to be a part of the way you see entertainment. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Dude, it's interesting because, you know, I'm at the age where my friends have kids, and they're like, oh, man, I can't wait for them to be the age where we can start watching. I can show them Dragon Ball. And one of them, his kids are at that age, like, we start watching Dragon Ball. And I'm like, there's not for kids, but they're loving it. Because, again, they're pure, they're innocent, they don't understand all the debauchery. No, not debauchery. No.
It's just, I mean,
the
there's guys fighting, and there's like shit blowing up. It's crazy.
In Dragon Ball, they kill people like
Yeah.
a lot. Like I think it's actually way bloodier than Dragon Ball Z.
Think that's debatable.
I mean, bloodier in the sense that you actually see blood.
I think it's only the Japanese dub.
Maybe, I don't know. But it's a sad time in history.
And it's
for now on, I'm declaring it. March 8th will forever be known as Dragon Ball Z Day. Nothing else important is happening that day. It's the only thing that matters. International Women's Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, there's a joke here somewhere.
Yes. If you know it, you know it. If not, you don't. Do you agree? Do you concur? I need somebody to second this motion.
I mean, one of them does something for me, and the other one's International Women's Day, so yeah.
One of them's done a lot for me.
Yeah.
So.
One of them not just did a lot for me, it did a lot for the entire medium, which I love, which is, I mean, I think, so the big three manga that were like for the last 25 years or something was Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach.
Okay.
Those were known as the big three.
Okay.
Those all directly cite Toriyama. Eiichiro Oda, the guy who makes One Piece, he literally called Toriyama his god. And there's an interview where...
Wait, are you telling me the Rasengan is directly inspired by freaking Dragon Ball Z?
And there's nothing... Everything... They don't exist without Dragon Ball.
Oh, dude.
None of those guys become mangaka without Dragon Ball. And the funny thing is now we have guys coming out as, you know, like new authors who are like, yeah, I grew up like reading One Piece and Naruto and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, like you can see the trickle down here. You know, it comes from Toriyama. It comes from the guy who changed it all.
For the better.
That guy right there.
Yeah. Have you read the message that Oda put out?
I have not.
Do you want to?
Sure, why not?
Oda, by the way, I don't even listen. The dude put it out in Japanese. I don't even know if this is actually what he said, but I saw it and I was like, I'll
Does
give
it
it
say
to
like "fuck bitches get money"?
Of course. By the way, Oda is the creator of One Piece, so if I'll just let you read it.
Probably right now the most influential mangaka.
There you go, right there for you.
Let's see.
And this is Oda, the creator of One Piece, mangaka of One Piece.
It's too early. The hole is too big. The thought of never seeing you again fills me with sadness. I've admired him so much since I was a child, and I even remember the day when he called me by name for the first time. I also miss the day we had a great time with Mr. Kishimoto, the author for Naruto, on the way home from the day when he used the word friend for us. I also remember the last conversation we had. He is one of the people who took the baton from the era when reading manga would make you stupid and created an era where both adults and children read and enjoy manga. He showed us the dream that manga can do things like this and we can go to the world. He gave it to me. It was like watching a hero push forward. The excitement of the Dragon Ball serialization is probably rooted in the childhoods of not only manga artists but also creators active in all industries. That existence is a great tree. For manga artists of my generation who have stood on the same stage, the closer I got to Toriyama's works, the more I realized that they had a greater presence. So scary, but I'm happy to see the easygoing man himself again. Because we love Toriyama-sensei on a blood level, we would like to express our respect and gratitude to the richly creative world that Toriyama-sensei left behind, and pray for his repose from the bottom of our hearts. I hope that heaven will be a pleasant world, just as you envisioned it.
So beautiful.
And then he made a little a Luffy with Goku with the drawing thing.
To the right. To right.
Oh, yeah.
So Luffy wearing Goku's clothes, Goku wearing Luffy's clothes.
Also, apparently so Dragon Ball ended in chapter 519.
Uh-huh.
And when One Piece reached chapter 519, he made the cover art Dragon Ball style.
Oh, nice.
And he didn't even mention it. He just like did it as like an Easter egg. And people actually asked him, he's like, did you do it because Dragon Ball ended in chapter 519? He's like, yep.
So beautiful.
Man.
So inspirational.
He was relatively young too, 68.
I thought it was 69.
No, that would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been funny. Well, I mean, not really.
No, well, it would have been funny.
It would have been humorous.
It would have been funny.
Yeah, humorous would have been the
Yeah,
right
it's
word.
like if Hugh Hefner had died at 69, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyway, on that note, I guess a good place to stop because I still have to go charge my car and Eric still has to go to work.
That's right.
But it's been a fun ride.
Well,
What, 30 years worth?
just about.
Damn.
This one's to Toriyama Sensei, my friends.
Cheers.
It is water, but, you know.
Kanpai.
Salud.
As always, thank you for joining us. Again, comments, questions, suggestions, you can find me at DarioSTW at Super Dario World. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, all that good stuff. It really helps me out. Man. Where do we go from here?
To the stars, Bowen.
Nice. Nice, Dragonheart. Originally, we were supposed to talk about other stuff that we've been watching. Turns out, you can fill out quite a few hours of just talking Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I figured it'd be most appropriate just to go with Toriyama.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I haven't really been in the mood. Well, unfortunately, we're victims of our own success, and we're unfortunately very busy in our regular lives, so we haven't really been able to meet up as much to record stuff. But we should do something to like, catch up. I haven't done a video in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we could probably work on that.
All right, we'll do that behind the scenes. But yeah, sad day, sad week, sad moment. Do not listen to the theme songs. You will start crying.
Listen to them, motherfuckers.
You rewatch the shows. Do that.
That too.
Or buy the manga. I don't know. To his family, he'll get money probably.
I guess so.
Chuck Dominguez says we need to gather the Dragon Balls and bring him back to life. No. Don't. Dude believed in heaven. I'm sure he's fine. What would you say?
Well, imagine if he came back and he's like super pissed. Like, bro, I was there.
I told you how to do it. I told you what to do. All you have to do is just find 7 balls and put them together, and you would bring me back. And you couldn't do that?
You couldn't fucking do it, huh?
Seriously?
Ah, well.
So good. So, rest in peace. Probably the greatest mangaka of our generation. Most influential.
I'm not going to say greatest because that always brings up like questions of like quality and stuff. I'm going to say most influential, and that one I'm not even remotely like doubtful.
Yep. As always, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.